Last year, I published a paper showing how rituals affect the way we think about objects. This year, in a paper just published in Religion, Brain and Behavior, I answer some unresolved questions. Think of a ritual as a set of actions which don't cause outcomes. For example, neither crossing yourself nor crossing your fingers causes an outcome in the physical world. Now consider how hard it would be to understand why someone would perform those actions if you couldn't see what outcome they were trying to cause. Last year, I asked people to watch an actor performing a series of ordinary actions, like cleaning, that had outcomes, or actions without outcomes, like ritual. I found that when people saw rituals performed on objects with no outcome or no obvious motivation, they perceived those objects as special and desirable. When we said those actions belonged to a particular tradition, it had mixed effects. When it's an unfamiliar tradition, it made the effect of specialness and desirability a little bigger. But when we said those actions were satanic or voodooistic, it had no effect, neither good nor bad. This year, we showed people those very same videos, but we said the actor had a motive. They were either blessing the object or cursing the object. Then we asked if the objects were the same, whether any of the objects were special, and which one they would select for themselves. As before, we found that all the objects were considered physically the same. Ritual actions made participants more than twice as likely to think that object was special, but calling an action a blessing or a curse had no effect whatsoever. And ritual actions made people up to 3 times more likely to prefer a specific object. Then we found something interesting. A curse made people about 4 times more likely to avoid an object than if the object wasn't described at all. But the really cool bit is calling an action a blessing had no effect on rituals. It only affected ordinary actions. Knowing someone's motive for performing an action, good or bad, didn't make an object special. A bad motive made people avoid an object, and a good motive only made people desire an object if the action wasn't a ritual. So why should you care about this? Well, rituals aren't simply strange actions that are only meaningful because we say they are. In fact, it's basically the opposite of that. Last year, we showed that rituals are generally good things, even when they're performed by bad people. This year, we show how to make a ritual bad. We literally have to spell it out. This is a curse. It seems that rituals are a kind of action which speak louder than words. Indeed, some words have no effect on how we think about them at all. Why do I care about this? Well, understanding how we see actions as having consequences in the world is one thing. It's another thing to understand how someone's intentions in the world can influence how we see those actions, even when those actions can't really do anything. Now, I'm trying to figure out whether this is because the brain responds to these strange actions in a kind of lucky cognitive accident, or whether our response is something we learn.